All set.
Wonderful. Hello there, everybody. It's Hannah Gray with the next episode of 15 Minutes With. These are where I interview our partners of the Office Management Portal, and it's an opportunity for me to get to know them a little bit better, and for you as our viewers and members of the Office Management Portal as well, to understand the services that they provide, get some expert tips from them, and get to know them a bit better too. And this week, it's my pleasure to be joined by my very professional friend and partner of ours, Lucy Chamberlain, who is the founder of C&C Search. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Hannah. How are you doing?
I'm really well, thank you. How about you?
Fabulous. I'm feeling very grateful to be here.
Well, thank you for giving us some of your time, because I know you are extremely busy and you have all sorts of engagements and pieces to do running your successful business. So can you start by telling me a little bit more about C&C and how the business came about?
Yes. So 9 years ago, I was a partner in a much bigger recruitment company. I had suddenly become a single mother unexpectedly. And I think it caused me to question an awful lot of things. And what I really realized during that time when I was assessing my personal values was that I needed to build my own business where those values were going to be at the core. And those are community, legacy, innovation, and growth and development. And so those were the 4 pillars of C&C. They remain that today. And we are now 9 years old, just about to be 9 years old. And we have 26 amazing women based in the city in Holborn. And our mission is to create transformation impact for everybody that we work with, whether it's a client or a candidate.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love those pillars as well. I didn't know about those. And how do you, I suppose, embed them into the business? Because we talk an awful lot, and office managers talk an awful lot about companies' core values or missions or objectives, and how they can almost tie into those to be strategically aligned and partner with the businesses within their specific role. So how, as the CEO and the founder of the company, do you embed those within your day-to-day goings on?
So they have to be an action, not an ideal. And I think so. Number one is to look at how those values are lived every single day. So for us, for example, legacy, everybody at C&C has an opportunity to coach through the Young Women's Trust once a week. We actively fundraise. We've put nearly 5,000 women through our training and development courses that are looking to get back to work, or have had a career break, or for whatever reason have lost their confidence. So, and that's, we do that as part of our Give Back program. So it's a lived action. So it's felt every day, and everyone's involved in shaping what that looks like. So we have a very strong meritocracy. If it's things like community, well, we bring our communities together all the time with roundtables, events, with it might be webinars, lots of different ways. So we look for opportunities for the individuals that work with C&C to have loads of wraparound. If it's a candidate, they have 12 months worth of aftercare, for example, with their learning and development. So everything's lived action. So that way our values are something we do every single day in the way that we turn up, show up, and in our commitment to each other and our standards that we all adhere to.
Yeah, love it. And I suppose that's why you have such an empowering workforce as well, because of those values and those pillars, as you say. So tell us now, what is your role there, and what sort of things does it involve? What does maybe a typical day or a week look like for you?
Yeah, so I carry lots of different hats, and I'm also still a mum, so you've got that going on as well. But a typical day a week really would look like I might be speaking at an engagement. I might be, because I use my platform a lot to raise the profile of the profession that we work with in the majority. I will be meeting with clients. I will be delivering training for my team. I might be putting together a big pitch. I could equally be putting together a new training and development program for the Development Academy, which is our training add-on. I might be meeting a client for lunch, and no 2 days are ever the same. Interviewing a candidate, it varies so massively. So I think that's what keeps me really interested, is that no 2 days are genuinely.
Office management, say that again, I made it that. How do you typically work with office managers, and how do you support them at C&C?
So I've spent 24 years interviewing office managers. So I have, I hope by now, a really deep understanding, both of the broad skill sets and how isolating at times that role can feel. It's also a role that's under a lot of pressure, both from budgets, in terms of leadership, in terms of all of the people that they're supporting and trying to keep people in a healthy, happy, positive working environment. It's not an easy task that office managers have, is it? Albeit very rewarding. And so in terms of how we work with them, is first of all is knowing their job inside out, but also in terms of partnering with them as a client, it will be supporting them through the recruitment process, giving lots of advice, offering again lots of wraparound support, or as a candidate, it will be really nurturing that individual through the hiring process, giving as much information and depth of knowledge as we can, supporting them with before they go in and with any sort of limiting beliefs they might have, in order they can deliver the best they've got available and secure the role that they really deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you enjoy the most about your job and working with those office managers, as you say, either from the client perspective and taking them through the process so that they get the hire or hires that they need? I suspect perhaps where an office manager is the manager of the hiring role, or maybe they've got that multi-hatted role where they're part of HR as well. That's where they become the clients. But also perhaps on the side where you say as a candidate, what do you enjoy about that and working with them?
Okay, so I think in terms of what I find most rewarding, I think I still get goosebumps when we make a placement, both for the client and for the candidate. So in 24 years, that's never changed. That's one of the things I enjoy the most, as well as watching my team developing and growing and delivering. That's another area of the role I absolutely adore. And I think that what's most important for me is that it's very much a long-term partnership and long-term relationship. And so then there's this wonderful aspect of that partnership where you start to build a connection with each other. They become part of your network. You can support them with connections, with suggestions, with other hints, tips, or perhaps introduce them to other people within your network as well. So I'm a bit of a super connector. I'm always introducing somebody to somebody, so that hopefully there's lots of extra value add from my community and those that are part of it.
Yeah, excellent. And now, can you share any tips in the areas that you are an expert in terms of, you know, the world of recruitment and the world of, as you say, training and development, that perhaps our viewers of this can take away as little nuggets of advice?
Okay. All right. Well, if you are currently looking to hire somebody, the most important things to measure against is adaptability, coachability, the attitude that person is going to bring, and their culture add. Everyone talks about culture fit, but look at what that person is going to bring to the business that perhaps doesn't exist already, that's going to enhance the culture, build the culture, and use behavioral interview questions to really explore those areas. So that would be one. If you are looking for a new role at the moment, it's to own your worth. It's the one thing that people struggle with most. So is actually expressing what their zones of genius are, how they've demonstrated those in the past, what impact that's created. And so for me, I would encourage you to write at least 10 different ways you've had a positive impact on a business, and then use a star response, what the situation was, the tasks that was yours to take, the actions you took, and the results of those. And if you struggle with coming up with what makes you uniquely you, your own secret sauce, which each of you will have, ask around, ask your friends, your family, your colleagues, do reach out and just say, hey, what is it about me that you think might make me a really strong office manager? And use those then so that when you're sharing your story or your capability to bring impact and culture add, you've really got that reinforcement, that solid foundation, and hopefully that will also give it a nice little boost to your self-esteem as well.
Yeah, definitely. When you mentioned about I think the behavior questions, do you have any examples of those sorts of questions that somebody could ask in an interview, or how they could answer those questions if they are asked those kind of things? So I think these are the sort of, the competency-based questions. Everybody thinks, oh God, competency-based question, that old thing that was certainly around when I was interviewing, and everybody freezes at that point. what specifically might get asked, or would you advise people to ask around that to have that culture ad understood?
Well, first of all, there's millions out there, but you can reach out to me for a list of behavioural interview questions if that's helpful, if you're interviewing at the moment. The reason why behavioural questions are so critical is past behaviour is the best predictor of future behaviour. If you've ever had not such a great relationship, you'll think, gosh, why did I stay with that person when they did that time and time and time again? The bottom line is that's one thing that we can trust. So that's why there's such powerful questions to ask. And it's also, you get into the psychology of interviewing, it's actually very difficult to not tell the truth with behavioural interview questions. So they tend to evoke a more honest response. So it might be things like, tell me about a time when morale was low within the team that you were operating in. What did you do about that? Or what action did you take? Or it could be, tell me about a time when a colleague was really struggling with something, might be work-related, person-related. What did you do about that? Or what action did you take? So those would demonstrate somebody's ability to empathize, to create impact, to take action, to self-resource. So there's so many things that come out of those. Preparing for them it's that piece, isn't it, around understanding your story, understanding the key events during that time, the challenges, the obstacles, the successes, the really high spots, and then also the low spots, but what you did to work through those. So for me, getting somebody to understand their CV is bringing it to life. It's telling a story in a way that's concise and clear so that somebody else can really understand who you are, how you do what you do, why you do what you do, and what you do to deliver it.
Brilliant, love that. Thank you so much, Lucy. I really appreciate you giving up about 15 minutes with us. It's always there on our 15 minutes with, but thank you so much. It's lovely to see you and to get you know you guys a little bit more and understand more about C&C and your values.